Lena needs Lex to know it was her. Alex thinks it must be weird to have a sibling with superpowers. Be careful what you wish for, especially if it's a kid. Illegal aliens doesn't mean what you think, but it kind of does. It's hammer time. We're talking CW Supergirl Season 4, Episode 20. Will the real Miss Tessmacher please stand up? The AfterBuzz After Show starts right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
That's right, we're talking all things CW Supergirl. We are getting close to the season finale. Season 4, Episode 20. Will the real Miss Tessmacher please stand up? My name's Tehran. I am joined, of course, on this panel by the person who's known as The Voice. El Jorge is in the building.
What is going on, Tehran?
How are you, sir?
I am doing well. Hello out there, you Supergirl fans. What's happening?
That's right. Right now, we're all Jorge Voice fans. This is Jorge the Voice. Does all the things. We are missing Heather.
We're missing Heather. We are missing Zach.
But we're not missing...
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's us.
It's us, baby.
Simpatico.
Simpatico.
And all of you, of course, all the panel at home. We love having you part of our panel. Don't forget, this panel is, if not as much, more you. So thank you so much for being you, all of you.
Thank you for leaving your comments, and thank you for talking with us, man, and watching and tuning in.
Yes, because some of the comment theories are way better than our theories.
I think so.
Sometimes I think the writers write the comments because I'm like, how did you know that?
Right?
Yeah, it happens all the time. As we're going to get into Season 4, Episode 20, will the real Miss Tessmacher please stand up? There are three storylines that coexist, right? So we have the Lena and Kara storyline, then Lockwood storyline, and then Alex and Kelly, which all three, they are happening simultaneously, but within a dimension where they don't really cross each other.
Right.
We're going to go over things like, of course, Miss Tessmacher, which one is the real one? Is there a real one? Department of Extraordinary Operations. Get into that Lockwood story a little with the Lockwood and Harun-El, and Lockwood and, of course, George, his son. Let's talk some superpowers while we're at it. Superpower James Olsen. He's flame resistant now,
How about
right?
that? About to get hit with a hammer.
Exactly. Not in the face, though. Not in the face. Plane crash. We're going to go to Kaznia, talk some Chechnya Dutch, the Red Daughter, Kaznia invading the U.S., Sarah Walker, and who it is. What's the president trying to pull? We're going to get some adoption story, that whole Mama Alex and Kelly. And, of course, Kara tries, and several times tries several different things, and not all of them work out.
No.
We're going to play our special segment game, Who You?, where we choose a scene from the show that represents, reflects, or is our favorite. And, of course, get in some predictions. But before we get there, El Jorge.
Yes.
Can you please get into your overall thoughts on this episode?
I found it to be actually, I love the three storylines that were going on. We had, a lot of interesting stuff going on with Alex in the adoption. So I like to see I like seeing the softer side of Alex for once, not just the badass Black Widowish kind of DEO agent. It was nice to see the softer side of her. It's nice to see Kara and Lena's relationship taking flight again. No pun intended. And then, Lockwood is just, he's a villain that you love to hate. So, yeah.
I'm kind of getting over Lockwood. Lockwood is starting to annoy me. And by that is because before he actually had a lot of dynamic to him, but now he's becoming this one-dimensional character who's not just the villain you love to hate, but the villain you just hate. What is his actual end game? What does he want? It's one of those things where it's like, I often have this conversation because CW and Supergirl specifically has so much involvement in social commentary. What happens if you get rid of everything? Now, of all people, let's say you hate, when you talk to these hate groups, they're like, oh, black people are the problem. We get rid of all black people. Now what? Now there are no problems? Who do we point these fingers to? What do we do? That's where he's at. And it's kind of what George is picking up on too. Like, you found mom's killer. Then what? What happened? Did it fix anything? This was the day you should have been with me. And we see that in Lockwood. He's becoming Ahab. He's becoming this obsessive character who's just has one concept on his mind, and that's the eradication of all aliens, right? The Alex and Kelly storyline was really good until it went too far. And by too far, I mean it just kind of prolonged where we got the point and we understood it and we were so much along for the ride. Unless they're setting up an Alex and Kelly relationship.
I think that's what's going on there.
It's kind of what's going on, but you know what? Now, to me, it's too on the nose. If Alex and Kelly hook up, it's like anytime there's a genderqueer character, those two will hook up. And I don't like that. The concept that the only other person who's a lesbian on the show befriends Alex, and now they might have a relationship. Before, when it wasn't so so determined that she was a lesbian, where Kelly was a lesbian or not, because tonight we got that story about the sergeant. I liked it. I was shipping them. I was shipping them all the way. But now that she's, I lost my sergeant, it's like, why can't they just be friends? It's okay. It's okay for them to be friends. We don't need a relationship now. Before, I was on board. As far as the action we got with Supergirl, Kara, and Lena, to me, that was by far the strongest storyline, especially as Kara tries to reveal herself as Supergirl to Lena, and it fails. She's just a wrong time.
It's a bad time.
Like, or is there ever a bad time for the truth? I don't know, but it was good. Now, overall, I really liked this episode. It was in line. I wish we had more episodes like this throughout the season. It was faster. It was better. It was hashed. I liked how there was 3 separate storylines and they all played a significant role. I just thought some of them dragged out, specifically the Alex and Kelly one.
Yeah, that storyline did drag out a bit.
And they could have done it more, especially because it was so emotional at one point where I was like, oh man, when she got that phone call. Sheesh, and we're going to talk about that when we get to Mama Alex. But let's start off with Miss Tessmacher, because that's the name. Well, the real Miss Tessmacher, please stand up. Ficky Slim Shady, right? So we see that in Cosnia, Miss Tessmacher has been cloned, or she's cloning herself, or she has become a figment of Copy's imagination.
Right. She got the, because Lex has been experimenting on captured aliens from the DEO desert facility, and we can see, I mean, it was actually just speckles of blood and whatnot. So, I mean, this has been some serious experimentation going on these aliens.
The claw marks.
And extracting their superpowers, and I guess trying to give those superpowers to humans now. So he's figured out how to do that with the Haronel. So giving that power to, it was actually a pretty interesting episode for that actress, Andrea Brooks. I think it was a really good episode for her.
It was definitely a very good episode. And of course, she's always one. Now, that's a person I love to hate, right?
Yeah.
Seeing Tessmacher and just understanding it. And it's definitely the ride or die, but more like she's willing to die. You know, so it's every super villain started having a Harley Quinn after Harley Quinn.
Oh yes.
And that was the concept of Tessmacher in a way, right? Tessmacher was almost the original Harley Quinn. I mean, we get a Tessmacher.
If we go way back to the Richard Donner Superman film, which is like the best origin film, superhero origin film, I think.
It is. I mean, if they had the technology we had today, that would be one of the best movies, right?
Right, exactly.
It's just because the technology at that time was outdated and we couldn't get it. But
the story itself.
Exactly.
Excellent.
So here we get this Tessmacher character and it's like, oh, boom. And now she's become more like Harley Quinn and we get it and we love her to hate her.
Right.
And with her power...
It doesn't hurt that she's cute as a button, too. Everything that she says with a smile. And she's like,
it's just the cutest
thing. You guys.
Yeah.
But I love Lex more.
And that's such a real thing to say. It's a real thing for her to say, right? She means that.
She means
in every way. I really like the concept of Miss Tessmacher getting this power. I wasn't understanding exactly how her little electric prods could keep Supergirl down. Is Supergirl super powerful? Or at least, isn't she supposed to be more powerful than Superman?
She is supposed to be more powerful than Superman, having something to do with her age when she came through. And I would think that those little electric prods, whenever Tessmacher would touch Supergirl with them, she'd just be standing there and be like, that tickles.
Yeah, exactly. But, you're Supergirl.
Like, you're Supergirl.
I don't care what voltage it's going through. It's not connected to an electric dam. Like whatever the voltage is, I just didn't feel like she should be bothered by them. No. And Tessmacher should never have a leg up on on Supergirl, no matter how many Tessmachers there are.
Well, she didn't at the end of that fight. She was like, "Come on!" No, they were going down one by one, luckily enough. But do you think the real Tessmacher was in the room? Was in the building when
That's
it blew
the thing.
up?
I do not think so. That is not the last we see of Tessmacher.
Okay.
It's not even the last we've seen of any. They died before. People have died before in their back. Tessmacher,
right.
however, that's not. I don't even think that was the real Tessmacher.
Well, hell, two weeks ago, they blew up Otis and then brought him right back.
Hey, Otis is here.
Yeah.
Right? Otis is better than
so
ever.
Tessmacher's still around.
Tessmacher's still around, especially with the copy power. I don't see a Tessmacher death sentence there.
No.
What I do see is that Tessmacher is more integral than we thought. Was she planted in Kaznia? Why else would she just be there and be the only person there?
Well, does Tessmacher know that Kara is Supergirl? Because in that scene, she kicked over the kryptonite also, right? Knowing that kryptonite hurts Kryptonians. She's been pretty close with Red Daughter, right? So, and there's all those photos of Kara.
Yeah, if you walk in a Red Daughter's cell,
right?
You just know.
Does Tessmacher know?
Tessmacher has to know.
She must know.
I mean, she's who Lex loves more than anyone else. So she's part of the secret inner circle. I don't know. It didn't seem to play. And also we heard the piece of information that when the copies are away from copy, they get dumber.
Yeah.
And that was a key piece of information that we wouldn't have remembered had they not brought it up. And I'm thinking they brought it up to explain the malfunction of Tessmacher, plus why they might not know or realize it or figure it out. Why would she give up information so readily? But my question is, why was she even there in the first place? I didn't care because it was such a cool thing.
I'm feeling like it was a setup. I feel like it was like some sort of setup, some sort of trap. She was there to keep them there because Lex is always playing a chess game and he's always like 3, 4, 5 moves ahead of everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Lex doesn't make mistakes.
He doesn't make mistakes. He left. He knew that once they got there, he was going to press the self-destruct on the compound. Right? I mean, he keeps everything in paper because you can't hack paper.
Can't hack paper.
So yeah, I think Tessmacher was there on purpose to set off the self-destruct button.
There has to be more. It has to be more of why Miss Tessmacher was there, and even though it was the coolest storyline, I did wonder why she's just there by herself. And you're right, cute as a button. Everything she says, the way she says it, just makes it so. It's almost comic relief, but at the same time, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
she's dangerous. And that showdown with Tessmacher and Lena, that was real. Lena had a bone to pick with her.
Oh yeah, I mean, she took out that baton out of her heel and was like, "Let's go, girl."
Yeah, it's like, I didn't expect you. I was like, I was hoping this would happen. I was hoping this wouldn't happen. And Lena's like, I was hoping this would happen. I'm getting it on. So they fight it, and it's like the fight to the death. Of course, not to the actual death, but Tessmacher disappears into the copy world or wherever.
Well, she thought that she got a clean hit off on Lena, but Lena was saved by the tape recorder.
The tape recorder that Kara had said she left behind, and I was expecting that shoe to drop, and it never did. I think clearly that comes up later.
Right.
It has to.
It has to.
She'd be like, wait, didn't you go back for a tape recorder? Oh, I did. No,
here it is.
I had it.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw her hand it to her.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, wait, you told me this. I'm waiting, because Lena, let's not forget, Lena is a 9th degree intellect of her own. She's supposed to be smart, and yet somehow she isn't figuring out that Kara is Supergirl.
Was there a point in like 3 seasons ago where she thought she was?
I remember when Cat Grant thought that Kara was Supergirl.
I was just wondering if there was ever a point that Lena thought and that she had to prove that she wasn't.
I don't remember exactly. I think there was maybe I'm thinking of something where at the party scene where it was Lena's party and Kara came and Supergirl came through, but I don't think it was to prove anything. I think it was just to
what did you
Supergirl
think
save
of them seeing the video of Red Daughter and Supergirl saying, Kara saying, there must be some good in her. There must be some good in her.
Well, that's the thing, right? We're definitely gonna see her talk her into it. That's Kara's goal, and what we kind of saw in the preview. I mean, honestly, there doesn't have to be good in her, Kara. Sorry. Like if she kills you. Yeah, I mean, that's how it works. But then again, we're always waiting for Lena to be a bad person too.
That's true.
And it's just not.
She's not. I don't see it in her.
I mean, we see it in her because she's a Luther. We see it in her because she's always borderline. It's always, there's this look in her eyes that just makes me feel like she's about to do the evil thing, but she does not.
Well, I think she's bad, but she's not evil.
She's trained herself. That's a good way to look at it. Maybe she's bad, but not evil. This plane crash, the plane crash where Kara comes out and flies. You made an observation during us watching.
Yes. So she exited the plane and re-entered the plane and did not depressurize the plane at all. Okay.
That's not how it works?
That's not how that works.
But she's Supergirl. So
well, okay.
She's Supergirl. But she landed the plane.
Like John Jones could do that because the Martian because he could phase through.
Yeah.
But all right, it's a TV show. I'll suspend this belief.
It's a Supergirl show. But here's the belief you should suspend is that Lena had no idea. She thinks she saved the day. Kara plays, and Kara's so good at it. Oh, I was knocked out.
Yeah.
And this is actually one of the big problems is because Kara's played that victim so often that oh, thank you. And if Lena finds out she's Supergirl, as we saw at the end where it's like, Tessmacher, I thought she was my friend and she betrayed me every day. Now, if Kara did it too, Lena might lose it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how would you feel in that moment if you were to turn around and after all that time, your friend was like, I'm Supergirl?
You know,
would you feel betrayed or would you feel
honored?
Yeah, honored to be told.
I think I might understand why you kept it secret. And I might feel, I think Kara at that instance could have been like, Lena, I don't want to lie to you. I've kept my secret from everyone. And this is why. And this is who I am. And that would have been the time.
I think that would have been the time.
That was the best time. And it turned into the worst time. She took it as it's the worst time, but it would have been the best time to come clean and just show.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, then she
Lena,
could say, "Listen, I want to tell you the truth, Lena. I want to tell you the truth. I've been tired of holding this secret. This is it. This is the moment."
100%.
I think she missed an opportunity.
An opportunity to come clean with her friend, her best friend, actually. Lena says, "You're the only reason. Your integrity is the only thing that gives me faith in humanity." Wow, that's a lot of pressure, Lena. That's a lot of pressure. Okay, let's calm it down. You don't know Kara. You don't know her life.
You don't know her life.
Obviously not, because you didn't even know she's Supergirl. And literally everybody knows she's Supergirl but Lena.
Right.
Think about it. And Alex.
And Alex.
Because of the mind wipe only. But other than that.
How long is that mind wipe going to last?
I don't know. It's just such a overplayed storyline for no reason. I don't know how I would feel if I found out my friend was Supergirl the whole time. But I do know how I would feel if I found out that all my friends knew about an AfterBuzz after show on Supergirl and didn't tell anyone.
That's a nice segue, by the way. Hey, guys. Before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us in doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your super friends, and keep enjoying our shows.
From all of us to all of you, thank you.
Besos.
So, let's get into the next segment, which is the next storyline we're going to get into is that Lockwood storyline. That Lockwood storyline encompasses a lot of Lockwood coming at the funeral, Lockwood going to the DEO, Lockwood getting into that confrontation with Dreamer and Guardian, and then Lockwood taking the L himself. And of course, Lockwood and his son at the end to bookend it. So we start off at the funeral and we end up.
Yeah, he just gets up and leaves in the middle of the funeral. He just gets up and leaves and shows up at the DEO and barking orders. And I'm sorry, as a DEO agent, I don't know you.
Yeah, you're not my secretary. I don't care if you're the secretary.
I don't care you're the secretary. I
get it,
you.
but it's not out of respect. I'm listening to you because it's orders. Right. There's a difference between earning it
Right.
And not. And Lockwood hasn't earned it. He just hasn't earned the respect of these DEO agents. And we see that in the confrontation where they basically listen to Brainy and Brainy's plea for, hey, we're here to fight and defend the Constitution. These orders aren't important.
Yeah.
And they all don't follow, except for the Children of Liberty.
No, they finally let them go. I mean, the Children of Liberty, I understand them following along, but
hate follows hate.
Hate follows hate. But the DEO agents, I mean, they're just agents. They're soldiers. They have a hierarchy. They have a protocol, right? It's Colonel Haley, then Alex. Who is this guy walking in, barking orders at me?
Well, I mean, the president does have to say, and it does work out in that manner. But the concept is, of course, when that superior comes in, we see that in a lot of movies where it's the concept of, oh, I'm here now, I'm in charge.
Right.
It doesn't work out so well. And here we have Lockwood leaving the funeral, leaving his son as his son's giving the eulogy and speaking at the funeral. Then...
Rude much?
Rude, very rude. And then he goes and breaks into Lena's office, basically.
Right.
Which, I mean, is it his jurisdiction? Sure, but is it his jurisprudence? And it's not. Like, that's not your job. What are you doing? You're not doing your due diligence. You're using the office of secretary for a personal vendetta.
No, he's abusing power.
100%.
He's abusing his power at this point because because he is so single-minded in his hate. Right? His hate, he's fueled by his hate. He's on this fucking hamster, pardon my language. He's on this hamster wheel of hate right now. And that's and that's all that's going around and around and around in his mind. Right? And the idea also of trying to figure out how Jimmy Olsen got powers.
He gets obsessed with that because to him, it's the way to get his vengeance. Not because it could help America, not because it could help the planet, not because it evens the playing field, if that's the concept. It's because he wants to get his hate. He wants to be in charge. He wants to be the alpha. His ego is just on a different level, to be honest. He is definitely a narcissist because he thinks he's the one.
Right.
And he has to do it all. And everyone has to be underneath him. Anyone who's equal to him has to go.
You know what I would really love to see? I would really love to see, because of what you just said, because of his narcissism and because of his ego, I would really like to see the scene where he finally finds out that Lex has been behind the whole thing entirely and behind him as well.
Yeah.
Because that should be humble him.
It should humble him. It should humiliate him. It should do all the take the air out of his balloon and burst it at the same time.
Right. Lex has been pulling his strings this entire time
to get him to do this. Yes.
To get him to do this, and he has no idea.
None. He has no clue.
I would love to see that in the next few episodes.
And he's losing his son. We saw him last episode where he basically thinks his son has betrayed him. He loses his wife. He loses his father. But now he's actually losing his son.
Yeah. What's he going to be left with?
Exactly. Your hate. It's going to be the only thing that consumes you. Then we see Lockwood, and we, of course, see the standoff between Lockwood and James. James has these superpowers. Right. That was cool.
Yeah.
James, the superpower, and he's ecstatic about it. We kind of predicted that he would lose his powers or something, but no, he has them. He's indestructible. He's super strong. He can heal.
When Lockwood threw the truck back at him, why didn't James just catch it?
I think it's not easy to catch a fast-moving truck. I just don't think that's like a thing.
I don't know.
You think Lockwood is stronger than James?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. But I mean, maybe because Lockwood didn't take a diluted form of the Haronel, which would also mean that his days are numbered since he's taking the full dose of a Haronel. But
well, we did see a lapse at the end. His eyes went black, the veins, we saw it's coursing through his body. We've seen this version before with the rage shot, right? So you would think, hey, I've kind of seen this and it's not a good look. We should probably stop.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked out before. Why are we doing this again? But of course, he wants to exact his revenge. So he takes the shot and he's ready to go. He's fighting everybody. And then we see him basically lose to John Jones, who we get back. That's nice. That was
a nice touch. And I'd love to see him in his Martian Manhunter get up.
Yeah, it's way better.
It's way better.
It's way better, way cooler. He throws them into the truck, it explodes. It was definitely a fun, good scene.
Yeah.
Martian manhandled. Let's call him Martian manhandler because he manhandled.
Yeah, I love him coming down and be like, I am the Martian Manhunter, and I should warn you.
Let me tell
you something, buddy. The last person that came up against me, he ain't around.
Yeah, that's what anymore. He did. He said that. He dropped stats on him. We get that concept of Lockwood then basically finding the murderer, the Brevkin who killed his wife, and then arresting everyone. Mm-hmm. Abuse of power. Again, you're a DEO agent soldier in that you don't see that that's an abuse of power right there. I mean, Brainy's calling it out left and right. Yeah, Brainy was on top of it. Yeah. Brainy was actually the best. He was the least funny, most effective Brainy he's ever been.
Yes.
And I don't know which one I prefer. I actually really liked him being on top of stuff. I liked when he stepped in and used his strength to stop the truck. Mm-hmm. And then he also, and I think it was for Nia. I think he jumped in for Nia a little.
Probably.
Yeah.
He still got a little Nia.
I hope that, I'm still shipping that heavy. I like that. I like, what do we, Brainy Null.
Brainy Null.
I like that. I'm shipping that. I'm definitely shipping that. Let's talk Lockwood future.
What do you mean?
I mean, is he going to be the formidable foe? Who's the showdown? So we feel like Supergirl and Red Daughter.
Well, that's what we got coming up next week.
Thinking,
that showdown's finally coming down.
I'm thinking Guardian and Lockwood showdown.
I think you're right. I think there's going to be a Guardian Lockwood showdown at some point.
Blood traitor, the blood purist and the blood traitor. Mm-hmm. By the way, just to let you know, Lockwood is now a blood traitor as well.
Yeah.
So he's part alien or superpowered or whatever it is.
Wait, was he calling him a blood traitor because he had the superpowers, or was he calling him a blood traitor because he...
I felt like it was all the way around.
Because he was...
protecting aliens.
Protecting
aliens. I think it was all of it. I felt like it was all of it. Now, I could be wrong, but I felt like the superpowers did not help. Because he was very obsessed with how James got superpowers.
Well, I think that just came out of jealousy.
Yeah.
And I think that was jealousy right there. He saw that James had the superpowers, and he was like, I want that. I mean, because because with superpowers, then he can actually, further his mission of eradicating the illegal aliens from the planet, right? And Earth first, then he could be the true defender of Earth. So, yeah, I mean, it's almost. I mean, he's almost like a Lex Luthor.
He is. He is a Lex Luthor on his own.
Less charismatic, though.
Lex is doing things because of his own personal agenda. Lockwood's even more dangerous because he thinks he's doing the moral and justified action.
Right.
See, at least Lex knows what he's doing is saying, I'm the smartest person in the world, so what I think is best, but I know it's going to benefit me the most. Mm-hmm. But Ben Lockwood thinks that he's doing what's best for everybody.
Right.
That's what happens when you have an extremist, is they think they're doing what is best, even if others don't know. And that's why that extremist mentality, no matter what side it's on, is always so dangerous. Let's get into that Mama Alex and Kelly storyline, that third storyline. What did you think about that?
Like I said, I mean, it was nice to see the softer side of Alex for once, right? Not the butt kicking, gun toting, cat suit Alex, because we get to see a lot of that.
Yeah,
we get to see a lot of that. I mean, almost every episode we get to see a lot of that. To see the softer side of Alex, I think the actress is pretty wonderful. Remember her from back in the days of Grey's Anatomy. Chyler Lee, right? I thought it was some really nice moments in there for her. I do agree with you as far as the love connection between the two of them. It's almost like we're getting hit over the head with it.
It's forced. I feel like it's forced, and I was shipping it. I liked it in the beginning.
Yeah.
I liked it when it was just spontaneous. Right. But now they've dragged it out, and now I just want them to be friends, good friends, and that's all I want from those two. Now, Alex and Kelly, I will say this, is that Mama Alex storyline was actually very strong. It was so appropriate because it's the concept of a mother, and here it reminds me of Law & Order SVU, where we get Olivia Benson. Oh, you're a police officer and a single mother. Oh, you can't do both. You're the sergeant. Yeah, I love that. That's oh my gosh, that was amazing. That sound is just I love Olivia and I love that show. But the concept is we always you're a mom. You can't work and be a mom. Right. But we praise single dads for doing that same thing.
Are you kidding me? My mom was a single mom. She worked 40 hours a week as a registered nurse, right? And raised 2 kids, put them through Catholic school, and then put them through college. Yeah. So there's much love to all the single moms out there. Just saying.
We so much respect for single moms, and I understand it's not easy. And it comes to adoption, sure. And I felt that tone, whether they didn't talk about it, but you felt it. You felt that concept of, wow, that's a conversation. Then you also had the conversation of adoption, how it must feel. I have 12 hours. I haven't heard anything for a year, and now I have 12 hours to decide. That's a little heart-wrenching. That's a little stressful. That's a lot.
That's a lot to deal with.
And then she's doing it without her significant other, which is Kara, who's not there to help her make this decision. And then she talked herself through the Kara state of being, which is life is precious, and this is something you've always wanted. And it doesn't matter. There is no right time. There's always the right time.
Right. I mean, that's pretty much what a lot of my friends who have had kids keep on saying. It's like, there's no right time. We just had a kid, Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing about that. Life is precious, and especially I think adoption is an amazingly beautiful thing. And I've always wondered why more people don't adopt when they're in a situation where they're always looking for, a solution. Well, the solution is there are a lot of children who do need parents to adopt them. And also when it comes to that concept of having a kid and there is no right time, yeah, there is when you have money and time. Listen, there is a right time. Like, listen, my pullout game is amazing. Okay, I'm not having an unright time kid right now. Like that's not the end goal right now. There is a right time. Okay, I'm sorry, Kara. Exactly. I'm not trying to have a random kid right now. Right. It's like I can barely. I'm not trying to. I can't even take care of me.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not willing to put a kid through my lifestyle.
Exactly. So
I've got hopes and dreams of my own kid. I don't want to be dealing with yours.
But for Alex, I think the right time is kind of now. This bring out a softer Alex, but I don't know if it's right now. Not in the midst of all this that's going on. We need DEO Alex a little. So it was interesting. And then, of course, we had the Alex and Kelly and how Kelly was there for her. They were jogging together. And, of course, she uprooted herself and went with Alex to Portsmouth and was there with her through everything. What did you think of their conversation, Kelly walking her through?
I mean, it's pretty much a typical idea, because Alex was talking about Kara not being there, right? Talking about her anchor not being there, and the one person who she would love to talk to not being there. So Kelly, being the psychologist that she is, a brilliant psychologist apparently, would say, just brought it back onto her. It's like, what would she say if she were here? Imagine if she were here. What would she say? Yeah. So, I thought it was a very supportive conversation. It's pretty supportive and deep conversation between two people who have known each other for 5 episodes. So
for 5 minutes, yeah.
For 5 minutes.
It was good, and I liked how Alex was like, has anyone ever told you should be a psychiatrist? You'd be a really good one, And she is there, and I liked hearing the story about her sergeant as well. I just felt like it was a little forced at the time. I would have liked to have heard that. And
well, did you also notice the look on Alex's face when they did the cut to on that, when she said that we couldn't be out while we were on deployment?
Sure.
And Alex was just like, So, okay.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was a little too forced for me. I feel like that should have been a little more natural the way it did. And it lasted, that moment lasted a little too long.
Right on.
Because it was such a strong, poignant moment. And then I feel like they dragged it out. It's almost when a comedian's on stage and they get a good tag and then they drag out a joke. It's like, you should have stopped when you were ahead.
Right.
I felt that
a lot like Saturday Night Live.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh, sorry, SNL.
Shots fired.
But your skits are too long.
Let's get to the conclusion, which was, of course, we learned some information. Kosnia is invading the U.S.
Yes.
Apparently under Lex's orders, and that it was ordered by someone high up, Sarah Walker, who we need to find out who Sarah Walker is, right? And the president knows. The president knows, and so we get Kara trying. First, Kara trying to tell Lena who she is, and then Kara trying to warn the president.
I would just like to say that I've been calling this for the last few episodes during predictions.
Sure, 100%.
That the president has been on this whole thing with Lex since the whatchamacallit, since that satellite that was supposed to be shooting down spaceships that came into the atmosphere.
You have.
So, yeah, I've been calling this. And I just don't like Baker.
He's such a piece of S. Like he's just so.
There's just nothing that I like about him.
And that's a person who I hate even more than Lockwood. Like Lockwood still has some redeemable qualities. Baker is just not a good person.
No,
you're just a snake.
Yeah. I mean, he got the position. He wasn't elected into the position. He inherited the position because the last president was found out to be an alien.
Who, by the way, now I'm thinking Lex definitely set that up, obviously. Because don't forget that Otis and Modus were involved in that situation.
That's right.
So I feel like this was all a setup from the get-go, from even before. Lex is such a Lex. Even when he's not on the show, he's so strong. But Kara tries. Luthor.
Just saying.
Kara tries, and then she gets black-bagged.
Yeah.
Taken away. They just don't know that they have Supergirl. Or do they? Ooh. Going into a little more. Let's play our favorite game. Who you? The segment where we watch, we talk about a segment on the show or a scene that really reflected us or was our favorite. What's yours?
I would have to say when the Martian Manhunter came down, it was just like, hey, man, you don't want to mess with me, bro.
You don't.
You don't, because the last one that did,
you
know, he ain't walking no more.
Mine would have to be Tessmacher going to Lena and going, I was hoping it wouldn't have to come to this. And Lena going, I was hoping that it would. I was hoping that it would. I wish it would. I loved it. Where are you from? Wish it would. Like, that's where I'm from. Yeah. I love that moment. It was so strong watching Lena just be because we get it, she's a brain. We get it, she's a boss ass B word, but now we get her, she's a badass B word too. Right. She's just she badass.
Can fly. She's a brain. She can fly planes and she can kick butt.
I love me some Lena. Yeah. We do have some news and gossip. Let's get into that. The Voice TV News.
All right, so the first thing that we've got up here is there is an article on TV Line with Supergirl's Andrea Brooks, who defends Eve. She's not a full-blown sociopath, she says. I don't want to say it's been in talks since day one, but there were always jokes circulating on set, Brooks tells TV Line about Eve Tessmacher. So why don't you guys go ahead and check out that article for the full article on that. And then for Supergirl, we have the title of the season finale coming up May 19th. Is that right? That what?
It's getting to, it's going to be May 19th. May 19th. That's going to be the season finale, The Quest for Peace.
The Quest for Peace. The Quest for Peace is actually directly references 1987 Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Which everyone hated, but I liked it. I liked that movie. I don't care.
Come on,
I liked
that was pretty bad.
I liked that movie.
That was the Richard Pryor one, right?
No, that wasn't the Richard Pryor one. No, that was the one where they take a strand of Superman's hair and Lex creates another super.
Oh, the solar. Yeah. Oh my God, that was bad. Anyway, that article's on CBR Online, so you can find that one there. And that's all the news and gossip I have for you today.
Well, that was good. That was fun news and gossip. I appreciate it so much. Hopefully we get to learn so much more about the quest for peace. I can't wait to see what that's about. But if it is a reference to the cloning, I can understand that because clearly that's where the cloning concept came from. The cloning concept was...
It was originally done when they sent the nuclear bomb with the strand of his hair.
Exactly. And they took it and they were able to clone Superman. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was that the one that John Cryer was in?
No.
Oh, man.
Superman 3, that's the one with Richard Pryor. And to me, that was, I don't know. That
one wasn't really good.
How do you not like that one? Everyone loves Richard Pryor. Okay, let's get into some predictions, shall we?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
AfterBuzz TV predictions, Jorge. Since
we know we're gonna be getting that super fight between Red Daughter and Supergirl. I don't know why Red Daughter's wearing a helmet. She's wearing a big helmet there. So we know we're getting that. I predict the showdown between Lockwood and Guardian. That's going to come down to the wire. What else? Let's see. But I predict the death of Lockwood because the Harrenel, he's taken on the full dosage. So he's probably got to go bye-bye. Yeah.
So, you were talking about how, so John Cryer, remember, he's not in Superman 3, he's in Superman 4. That's how he comes back. So Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Now we get the season finale is called The Quest for Peace. There has to be a connection there.
Yeah.
So we know John Cryer was in the Superman movie, Quest for Peace. Here it comes back. The season finale is The Quest for Peace. That's got to be a connection with Lex Luthor somehow. And now we have the clones playing. I mean, there's just so much. Yeah. So much collusion. I got to figure out what that's got to be about, right?
The writers know what
exactly.
they're doing.
They knew. They understood that. Yeah. That was a good play on words. Now, I am thinking that Ben Lockwood's powers, because if it's the undiluted one, or at least that's what Brainy said, there's going to be problems with his.
Absolutely.
And they're going to try to save him, and he's not going to want to be saved, or he's going to perish. That's my prediction for what's going on in the 4. Because Ben Lockwood's got to be gone. He's run his course.
The only thing that I would like to see, if we're going to keep Ben Lockwood around, is that he metamorphosizes into something else.
That might be interesting.
You see, now that would be interesting to me. If he were to, he took the Harrenel and now he no longer looks human. He looks something like out of what's that? Blockbuster from Young Justice.
Oh,
like he came out looking like that.
Yeah, he comes out and it's just like he metamorphoses into more. I just think that the powers are going to, and he had like the little serum in his hand at the end. He's going to overdo it because that's within his character.
Yep.
And then he's going to self-destruct and annihilate. And then maybe George takes that and redeems his square, or he takes that and becomes the next Lockwood.
I think George is walking away from that, from his dad. Wow. I think he's seeing Lockwood for the first time for who he really is.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Until then, where can people find you, Jorge?
Hello, my friends. You can find me on all of my social media at The El Jorge. That's TheEljorge.
That's right. You can find them there. Trust me, I have. And you can find me at I Am Tehran because I am Tehran. That is my name, Tehran. I am Tehran. And you can also find me hosting a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows where I talk about all of your favorite TV shows. If you don't believe me, just ask Ivan Soto. He watches all of them. So until next time, this is same Supergirl AfterBuzz time, same Supergirl AfterBuzz channel. Till next week.
Peace.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.